Hello everyone, this is Linda Timian, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and this video is going to give you the assembly instructions for my August 2025 Thank You for Your Order card kit. The one I'm doing this time is called a double box. I'm using By the Bay Designer Series paper. The die cuts are from Seaside Bay, and then the sentiments are going to be from the May Mountain Majesties 2025 paper pumpkin kit. So a lot of you will have these sentiments. Now this double box card, it folds flat into an envelope, and when you take it out, it folds out like this and it stands up. So that's kind of a fun thing to do. And so let's get started. These are the dimensions of the cardstock and Designer Series paper so that you can recreate this if you like. When you get your card kit, under the flap, there'll be a piece that's too big for the envelope. This is to decorate the flap of the envelope. We're going to do that this time. So you can set that aside, probably for the end. Also in the envelope then, be careful when you take it out because you're going to have two little pearls. And so just be careful that you don't lose those. If you do, just give me a call. There's going to be some die cuts. And let's put there, die cuts. Designer Series paper, this side. There's going to be the white cardstock. One is scored. This is your sentiment. That's going to go with the cover there. This piece here is not scored, and you can see it fits on the green like a mat. We'll put that together. And that is for the back. And then you'll have some dark blue that goes on the white cardstock, as you can see, like that. That will be going here and here. So the first thing we're going to do though is the sentiment stamping. And so what you'll need is the piece of unscored white cardstock and the sentiment piece. And these are optional. So let's take our sentiment stamps, and I am using Happy Birthday and You're the Greatest. And I'm going to put Happy Birthday on this one. And I'm going to kind of put it up in the corner a little bit, a little off to the side, not in the middle. I'm going to put it a little off to the side because we have the die cuts that are going to go in the corner. And then here I'm going to stamp You're the Greatest, kind of center that and straight at the top. So let's use our Misty Moonlight. That also came with the May Mountain Majesties paper pumpkin kit, so you should all have that. There. And then You're the Greatest. And we'll just center that and try and get it straight. And that's for the back. So let's go ahead now, put these away, and let's put this mat together for the back. And just using your tape runner, center that in all four sides. That's for the back. And then we're going to put together the little cluster of die cuts. And so I'm going to lay those out face down so I can put a little bit of glue on the back, and kind of working from this. I'm going to use my multi-purpose glue, and I can see that this one, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right there and put that there, a little bit here. And I do like to use reverse tweezers sometimes, if you have them, or regular tweezers. And then this one, just a little bit up here. And then I am going to take and put the pearl down. Right here, so that I can place the last little one, about like that, a little bit down, so it just needs a little bit of glue at the top. And then I'm going to use to put this little pearl down. So, and that is how that's going to work. Okay, so we've got that put together. Let's work on putting the box base together. Now this has score lines here, but also here, here, and here. So we're going to fold all of them in the same direction. And when you fold them, make sure that you're lining this up square across. So like when I do that, I don't want like this. I want that to be flush there. And I'm going to use my bone folder. And then also here. And make sure that is flush top and bottom. And then the last one. And this one's probably not quite so fussy as far as trying to get that square. It's a shallow piece. And then this is how it's going to adhere. So we need adhesive right here. So it's kind of like on the top. And I'm going to use tear and tape. Tear and tape is very strong. If you don't have any tear and tape left from a paper pumpkin kit, or you don't have your own, you can use a tape runner. Tear and tape is just really nice and strong, and so it will stick very well to the to keep that box shape. There we go. Now, when we fold this, we want it to fold flat. So, and let's take another look. 2 panels in front, then it folds back flat. So we've got our 2 panels in front, and this folds flat like that. And again, we want to make sure we line up those top and bottoms, which it should, since we lined them up when we folded it. And there we have our box. Okay, and now we know it will fold flat too. So we want to put our dark blue pieces here. So we're just going to use tape runner. And there is an orientation here because it fits this way, obviously not this way. So get that centered on that card base. And then also on here. And we're just, and I'm going to want to kind of, if I can, line up, get that all equal spacing around the margins. But see, I want to also make sure I've lined these up. That makes it look real nice. Okay, so we've got that much. We're also going to put this on the back before it gets too bumpy. So just use your tape runner and center that. I usually just eyeball it, equal spacing all around, and that's where you can sign your card. Okay, and then all that's left is to put this together. And now this also, they're all folded the same direction. And I want to make sure that it's square. So line that up and line that up there. Okay, so now I've got that folded like that. Now the adhesive is going to go on the back here and on the front here. So you can see we've got adhesive here and back here. Okay, so again, I'm going to use tear and tape, but you can use your favorite adhesive, like tape runner if you need to. And then on the front here. Okay, so I've got that down, but I think I'm going to embellish the front of this. It might just be easier to do that while it's on, not on the card yet. So taking my tape runner and centering that. And then I'm going to use dimensionals. You can see where I stamped that on the back, but I'm going to use dimensionals. And I like to put dimensionals kind of down into the pieces that I have die cut and adhered. That just gives it a little more to hang on to. And then here, and we'll put one here and here. That's lots, but okay. And take these off. Okay. And let's put this somewhat centered, however you want to do it. You don't have to worry about hanging over the edge here, because you can see when this folds flat, that doesn't stick out. If you put die cuts along here, you'd have to make sure that they didn't go past this edge. Okay. When you adhere the top box to the card base, flatten both pieces as if they were being put in an envelope. Have about 3/8 to 1/2 inch overlap on the left and about 1/4 inch of blue showing on the right. That way, when you open the card, the top layer is somewhat centered. Take the paper off the tear and tape on the right edge of the top panel and line it up and adhere it to the card base. And then we're going to take the tear and tape off the back here. And like I said, tape runner will work too. And lay it flat. There we go. And that is the double box card. Now for the envelope, we're going to put this on here. And I'm going to use the edge here of my trimmer so that I can line this up flat here. And then I'm going to put this on. And what I'm going to do is, using my tape runner, I'm going to put adhesive along the top here and along the bottom edge of this one. So I'm going to put adhesive here. And then I'm going to go down the flaps a ways. So So what that's going to do, I've got adhesive here, here, and here, and then I've got it on the bottom here. So let's bring this in, put that up to the edge. We've got adhesive. This is sticky right here, and we want to center that on there and just put it right up to the edge. And now we don't have any adhesive sticking out. So we have to trim that. And I'm going to use this. I think I can put flush like that and just cut that off. If you have one of these, you can use a scissor, you can use your paper trimmer. And then you can see that the adhesive is just right up to the edge there. There was some room to cut that off and still have adhesive. Okay, and then the only other thing then is to trim, and I think I'll trim this and like this. Okay, so now you've got a decorated envelope and the box card. Thank you for watching.